It is wonderful to see the market pushing back higher. Watch these assets. It's actually running up like crazy. Just yesterday, we talked about how the total alt market and the alt market was reacting, and some of these assets were showing you the intentions. We are joining that party. And right now, it is clear that what we saw and what I informed you guys is cool. It's up 200%. Now, believe me, the call out was here at the bottom saying I'm buying it. Yeah. And what happened? That started moving. Now, at each phase, I was calling, okay, there is going to be a retest. If you miss that, you may have to buy here. What happens? It come back down, and then I inform you guys there's a bullish divergence coming in. Boom. What happens? The price pops. So those who were in here early now really feel that what we went through is not a coincidence. It was visible in the price action, and that's exactly why we go through all of these assets one by one. When you come into the SI family and just search for one asset, you kind of get to see what we were thinking about in that particular asset. And that's exactly why we say be a part of this. If you don't understand it right now, a lot of people are jumping into red flags while you have huge opportunities which are in front of you. So that clear idea, it gives you all the perspective you need. Now, let's watch what's happening, because not a lot of people kind of give you the right understanding. I want to be sure that you guys don't miss out on this move in the market. Now, what do I mean? Saying, yes, you see Doge is coming up. It's trying to push higher. Now, look at the daily. The RSI is not yet at the overbought zone, which means you haven't yet started the real pump. You're still in the water here, right? And that's not bad. It's a good thing. But you have big moves coming in. Now, your duty is to go around and find an asset which has hit 70 plus on the daily at least. Now, why is that? Because when you go in here and you watch, okay, this is the first time where it hit that 70 plus, the price was here. It kept going up. Now, yes, there will be corrections, but it's not going below where you bought it. That's the beauty of it. And then when it goes up, if you see a negative divergence, get that out. I mean, seriously. But if it doesn't, ride it. That's the beauty of it, right? Now watch. The next time when the RSI enters 70 plus, you were here. If you bought it there until the negative divergence came in, which would be here, you didn't have to exit, which means you had a clear way to make real profits. Now, this is the first time you're entering there. What do you think is going to happen? Now, the higher the time frame, the clearer the upside and the volatility for you. But to be there early, you need to watch these. Yeah, the price was going down. But the RSI was saying, I really don't care. Someone is buying heavy. And that is exactly why I told you guys, let's buy. I'm buying here. Yeah, whether you like it or not, the market is saying I'm buying. So I'm like, I don't want to miss out on that, guys. This is going to go up, right? Our targets are higher. You guys know that. Those who are involved in the market here, they know it. We are serious about these things. And especially the breakouts, the red flags, the opportunities, the targets, it matters. Because when the price is going to go up, it's going to keep going up. Hope just came in. On a micro phase, this is where you got the hope. Yeah. Now you're entering optimism. Good. What comes next, guys? Yeah, FOMO. And that's where you really don't want to enter into these alts. You want to get positioned well enough, maybe have 10, 20, 25% max dry powder, but then you should be in the market. Yeah, 80 to 90% being in the market right now kind of gives you the opportunity to scale out without trying to find the exact top, the absolute top. Oh, it's scary. You don't want to go there. I mean, honestly, you really don't. you can exit with the first negative divergence on the 3-day. That would be the best choice to completely exit. To scale out, use the daily. Now, sometimes understand this, the first time when the negative divergence appear, that is just the starting point. So you have to compare it with the 3-day. What is the 3-day doing? So if you get a daily negative divergence on a long-term asset with huge history, yeah, most likely it's going to give you the 3-day as well. But if it's something very small, giving you a big negative divergence, now you're confused. You should be thinking about heavy movements. Now, this is where I say, watch for your macro trend lines. If you have a negative divergence on a macro, you now know where it can actually go. So watch the RSI. What does the RSI on Doge convey? I mean, that's a rising trend line on the upside. This is a falling trend line on the downside. So the pattern is clear. It's a broadening wedge. So how high do you think this can go? I really don't know, but wherever the negative divergence comes in, yeah, get out. Don't tie up yourself with that asset. Now, there's a lot of people asking, whoa, you didn't talk about XRP. Yeah, I like this asset. If it breaks higher here, that's good. But as of now, it's still below that resistance. I do not like that. Now, what's good here? It's trying to break the RSI, which shows some strength can soon come in. But what's the trouble? That strength can still be resisted here on 2.77, 2.8 region. Why? Because 2.8 to 2.9 is going to act as a strong resistance of negative divergence and its extension. Yes, right now you may not believe it completely unless you see the price action playing out. But when you're involved, you really have to go through this. You need to look through what you're watching, especially the news narratives and all. Why? Because they want you to understand the market in a certain way so they can use you in a certain way. Yeah. So think about this, the way these guys are operating now in the market, they're buying Bitcoin at these highs, 90,000. I mean, take a break, guys. I mean, they're buying in here thinking it's going to go up for next 10 years. What if the market is right? What if the market is saying, I have the negative divergence in here? The top is coming in based on the MACD. The top is here already based on the RSI. So whatever you do in here, it can be a retest, 100, 103. Maybe you get rejected just at 95. We really don't know. But if you do follow the price action, you can actually see if the whales are coming back to short or sell on you. It's hard. Now watch XLM for that matter. We talked about this, right? Whether I like it, you like it or not, the market was showing it. Now watch, it's directly going back up. So the argument is, will we really get a retest to the bottom? So the higher the time frame, the better the argument. Yeah, higher time frame structure argues at this point you have heavy resistance. So those who are jumping in at this point may get a surprise, because everyone, as they become euphoric, the market does this, boom, kick them out and then travel higher. Yeah, so the market can do these kind of jerky things. I mean, whales, they're not that friendly, guys, understand that. They will try to do these things. So this happening in XLM means in a lot of different assets it's going to come in. So the only difference is you need to know where these giant resistance are for multiple assets. If for XLM it's there, Doge is showing it's here. So it has room to run to the upside before it actually collapses down. So your idea should be, what am I watching? Yeah, because we put the argument here for last 10-15 days saying, guys, watch, I think this is where the bulls are buying, and that's what we are watching in last 10 days. We call, I mean, technically that's a checkmate pattern, which means supply is increasing, but the demand is neutralizing all of that without allowing it to continue to the downside in terms of price. Now watch the MACD. It's saying, I'm crossing to the upside. I really don't care who you are. But watch, last time the MACD did that, RSI showed you the bullish divergence, but still it stayed choppy before it went up. So are we going to do that? I don't know. I don't have the crystal ball. But all that I can say is at the bottom here, I told you guys, if you want to scale back in, do that. And at the top here, I told you, get out. Yeah. Now, scaling in from the macro support is not a bad thing. I started doing that, meaning I was like, okay, 50% drop is not bad. I'm starting to re-enter. Fine. Now we dollar cost average down to this point because we took the profits at XRP at the right time at the top. We scale it down. Now the averages are beautiful. I mean, let the price go back up, take that compounded profits, get out of the market. Now, watch the 3-day. This is Ether, and that matters a lot for a lot of altcoins. Ether is breaking higher on a 3-day. XRP is just trying to break higher. Ether did that. So do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Now move on to the weekly, because weekly chart kind of shows you, okay, how high you may actually go before you reach a major resistance. So this is what the RSI on a weekly argues. Fine. Do I have enough room to the upside to do something big in price? If it does, I'm happy. If it's just coming back to even 4,000, 4,500, I'm very happy. Yeah. So that's how you should be in this market. Now, watch. Some of these assets which are showing like bullish divergence on a 3-day, it doesn't show that on a weekly. That's 1. 2, this is the trend line which it actually broke. So what should be the retest? It can literally, last time I argued this when you were still here, around 100, saying, but watch, it can come back up to 190 and then get rejected. That's close to your first peak. Now, why does that matter? A lot of people should have entered the market getting stuck. That's why the market went down. Tested them, then came back down. Now the price should go back up, flirt with that, and then jump back. This is going to be fun. Now, why am I saying all of that? Because when you go in to the macro, this is what we argued in the last video. This is what we argued in last few weeks. Now watch. The daily is giving you that idea that, yeah, capital is starting to flow back into the alt market. I love that. Because the taste of it means next 90 days can be really big. Now, last time, how long did it take? Let's go with the history. The initial drop actually pushed the price action back down for 12 days. It's not even 30, it was 12. So that momentum as it enters, understand the biggest moves in the market will happen in the shortest duration when the RSI of those assets enter overbought territory. On a daily, on a 3-day, on a weekly, you see big pops. I mean, you know that's coming in as soon as the RSI is getting closer. So how do you look for each pops? 3-day says, okay, a pop on a 3-day. Now imagine a weekly entering day may give you a week worth of 100%. 3-day entering day may give you 3 days worth of 60%. A daily entering day may give you a day worth 20%. So you need to know what you are looking at, because the majority do not understand this market based on supply and demand. They're just looking for the price structure. This is why the bankers are able to manipulate you, and this is why they fail to do that with the SI family. Yeah, we got in here, we averaged down here, we sold at this local top. Yeah, believe me, we sold it here and then re-entered here. That was a nice decision. I mean, that's one of the primary reasons why the members in here, the SI family, they are happy. I mean, the way they say this, I'm really happy. There's a lot of individuals who came in and entered at the right time, and they understand. They're riding it. They are on it. Yeah? Why? Because they got the calls at the right time by the scientific investor in the scientific investor. And understand, in the scientific investor family, it's not just 1 or 2 assets. You go through all of this. You get the right opportunity. If it's a red flag, you know. If it's an opportunity and I saw it, boom, you know that. So that's why I say next 90 days, don't compromise, because then it's going to be a shorting going. Literally wait for negative divergence, short. That's what I would be doing. Maybe you shouldn't do that if you do not have the risk tolerance. But always understand what you are aiming for this market to do for you. And look whether the market agrees on that topic. It does not really matter if the big guys are hyping it up. It does not really matter if the big guys are saying, oh, this thing is about to shoot to the sky, and the monthly and weekly does not agree. Now, what are the good side of XRP? Now, I would say you go into the market cap side of things. This is what a lot of people are not looking at. When you are in here, you need to understand the percentage of drop which the price does while you correct 75%. Fine, I'm happy with that. Now, where is that 75%? Did we reach there? No, nowhere close. Where is it? That's somewhere here. Fine. So, where exactly is the bottom? Where exactly is that? That can be one, but again, this can also be one. So, this is the trouble when you're waiting for an asset to turn super bullish and you do not see a bullish divergence. Now, there can be slight bullish divergence like this on a 3-day, but that fails on a weekly. So, I'm like, whoa. It does not really matter. Maybe you come up here and you get rejected. Maybe you come up here and you get rejected. Now, all that XRP has, it's last week for this month. On the 1st, they drop 1 billion in supply. Go back and understand what happened in here. That first week, now, I'll just put that candle there and round it for you guys so you guys don't miss this, yeah? Now you go to the 3-day, watch where the biggest drop came in. You see that? Now you understand? Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So that candle, when it was closing at 31st, they knew the supply is coming in. The next candle is where you saw the heavy volatility. Why? The supply came in 1 billion units. Now, just the first week, they held on top of it. Last time they manipulated. They didn't drop that unit first of the month. I mean, that's scary. If they can play with it, they can play with anything. That's what's happening. Now they're delaying that. They're playing games. So when the price goes up, if they put it in the market and sell, they make a lot of money and they dump on you. Understand, when there is a negative divergence, you need to look for everything worse. When it's bullish, that divergence is bullish, then you're only looking at the positive things because you don't want to conflict the data from the market and the news. That's how the majority lose this game. I mean, you don't want to lose this game on that front in the next 90 days. So be a part of this. Enjoy the ride. If you got value, smash the like button. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.